Hello, and welcome to all our viewers wherever you may be. My name is MK Smith,
And I'm Bassam Haddad.
and we are so excited to be the hosts of Season 2, Episode 9 of Live with ASI, a month of knowledge production. Today we'll be covering the month of February.
We have a great show ahead of us today with new episodes of the Connections podcast, a lecture on Arab fandom and fantasy TV series, a new installment of the Mofeed-19 podcast, a panel on Russia, on Russian, Chinese, and American foreign policy, new texts out now, a number of them, and a host of pedagogic material.
And of course, engaging interviews with Muin Rabbani, Makarim El-Jamal, Kati El-Hayek, and Omar Dahi. As always, all content we discuss today will be included in the episode digest, which will be published later this week on Jadaliya.
So sit back, relax, and let's get to it.
Woo! Up first, let's talk about some new texts out now that you need to check out.
Absolutely. Our first Newton is a translated novel titled I Do Not Sleep, which we were talking...
I do not sleep.
I do not sleep. I thought they were talking about us. Written by Egyptian author Ihsan Abdul Quddus. In the Newton interview, the translator Jonathan Smolin describes how the book can be read literally as the story of a family scandal, but at the same time it can be metaphorically read as a reflection on the consequences of military dictatorship in Egypt.
Our second Newton uniquely brings together two bodies of scholarly work that do not often overlap: biology and Middle East studies. Genetic Crossroads, The Middle East and the Science of Human Heredity by Elise K. Burton details the history of human genetics through Middle Eastern sources and perspectives with a focus on the relationship between ethnic nationalisms and the science of genetics. The Middle East Studies Pedagogy Initiative published the third and final installment in a series of bouquets of academic articles on various aspects of the Arab uprisings. Each bouquet contains articles published between 2010 and 2020 in Middle East studies and related fields. The previous two installments focused on cultural production, as well as gender and sexuality during the Arab uprisings. And this final installment brings together articles that include a spatial comparison between different entities, political dynamics, and discourses on the uprisings.
In other pedagogy news, MESPI is integrating the 10 Years On project into its website as a fully functional module. For those who do not know, the 10 Years On project was a year-long initiative, kind of more than a year long actually, it's still going, that marked 10 years since the outbreak of the Arab uprisings of 2011 by producing resources for educators. Not the uprisings is producing resources. We are producing resources through the 10 Years On project. We're producing resources for educators, researchers, students, and journalists to understand the last decade of political upheaval historically and in the present.
As a treat, MESPI published a sneak peek into the peer-reviewed articles review collection of articles dealing with the Arab uprisings. It will be linked in the digest, but be sure to check the MESPI Team 10 Years On module to see the forthcoming complete collection. And you can see this at www.mespi.org. And there's no one better to talk about this new module, than MESPI's managing editor, Makarim El-Jamal, who is joining us now. Hi, Makarim.
Hi, it's so good to see you both.
It's so good to see
Great
you
to see
too.
you, Makarim. It's been a while, right? Kind of?
Yeah, it's been a while. I did a little segment with Muhammad last time, but it's been a while.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we're so excited to have you here and have you tell us a little bit about what our viewers can find on the 10 Years On module.
Yeah, so that 10 Years On module is a great one-stop shop where you can go and see all of the contributions that MESPI has put forth into the TYO page. You mentioned the PRAR module, and that's the one that has some really great stuff coming out. And there might be a little extra special bouquet coming your way later this week. So keep an eye out there, as well as for that full list of peer-reviewed articles dealing with the Arab uprisings. And the other element I wanted to bring to your attention was the signature panels section. that page is filled with phenomenal roundtables and discussions about really important topics. And then if you missed out on watching it live, at least you can now watch it here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And can you tell us what content that isn't on the module already that our viewers might be able to look forward to seeing in the future?
Yeah, we've got an extra special bouquet coming your way. That is going to be a special addition to the comparative lens. That was our most recent one. We were going through all those articles and noticed that there are some more comparative approaches that we wanted to feature for you all. So our wonderful module coordinator for the peer-reviewed articles review whipped up another element of that bouquet that we're going to be sending your way. I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Okay.
Thanks, Makarim. I know that you and I and Maddie are working on finalizing the teaching the Arab Uprisings 10 years on, or the 10 years on project resource portal, which includes a huge amount of material, from peer-reviewed articles to new texts to all sorts of pedagogic and research material that people can use. And of course, Maddie's taking the lead as the editor of the website, and you're taking the lead as MESP coordinator. And we are going to unveil this either this week or early next week.
Yeah, we've got a lot of great stuff coming your way, so keep a lookout at the MESP website.
Yeah, lots to look forward to. Well, thank you so much, Makarim, for joining us. It was so good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Bye, friend.
Anytime.
Next, we have a new episode of the Mofeed-19 Podcast.
Launched in partnership between ASI and the Stanford University Program on Arab Reform and Democracy, Mofeed-19 is the aptly named 19-minute video podcast that discusses research efforts pertaining to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the Arab world. The impacts? Can we say impacts?
Pertaining to the impacts? Yeah.
Impacts? The impacts?
I don't know.
Plural?
I don't know.
Can we look it up? Let's stop everything. Can you look it up, Bennett?
Look up what? Impacts? Or
Can you say impacts?
impacts?
I've
Jen
never
has to see it.
seen it.
Yeah.
I wasn't born here, so maybe I'm wrong.
I was
You could
born
say
here and I
impact?
don't know, so.
It's in the dictionary?
Yeah, impacts.
Damn, I've missed saying it for like some 50 years. Okay.
All right, well, the podcast,
Okay.
co-hosted by Hisham Salam and Amr Hamzawi, is part of the Mofeed-19 Project, an initiative that builds foundational resources for understanding how the politics and societies of the Arab world have adapted in light of the pandemic.
For their fourth episode, the co-hosts invited award-winning Palestinian-Jordanian writer Ibrahim Nasrallah for a discussion in Arabic on the pandemic and literary production. It was an enlightening and eloquent conversation on the purpose of literature, dystopias, loneliness, the human condition, and how the pandemic has affected the writing craft in the Arab world. The interview is about everything.
Everything. And you can find the full interview in this episode's digest.
Absolutely. And now we're going to go to an interlude for which I have a button.
Okay, a couple of weeks ago, ASI co-sponsored a panel put on by George Mason University's Middle East and Islamic Studies program.
Did you see this?
No, I was so in the zone, I didn't even notice. Which is to say, if things go south,
If I go south.
it's just me and the viewers. I'm
Salam
not
alaikum.
paying attention. Anyhow, co-hosted with George Mason University's Middle East and Islamic Studies program, the lecture was titled Arab Fandom and Creative Political Participation.
In this panel, I'm just trying to button the last. See, the thing is today, if you noticed, because we know we have fans that are like watching this
Every detail.
religiously. No. We have headphones today, and we usually don't have headphones, so we had to put it through our clothes, and that's why we're a little disheveled.
Yes.
In this panel, Jadaliya Syria Page, co-editor and assistant professor in the School of Professional Communication at Ryerson University, renaming in progress for that university, by the way, Katia Al-Hayek examined the case of popular fantasy TV show Game of Thrones. Examined the case of popular fantasy TV show Game of Thrones and how the devoted Arab freedom fandom
Arab freedom and fandom.
and how the devoted Arab fandom interacted with the series.
El Hayek's research addresses how fans' cultural participation can contribute to our understanding of non-traditional political participation. And we are very happy to have Katty with us in just a second to tell us more about her research.
Absolutely. Here we go. Katty is joining. All right.
Okay.
All right, Katty.
Perfect.
Just a second to tell us more about her research.
Okay.
Absolutely. Here we go. Katty is joining.
Hi, Katty. Sorry, we're getting a little bit of an echo, so we're just making sure that that's all set up. How are you?
Can you tell us more about her research?
Yes, I see. I hear that.
Hi, Katty. Sorry, we're getting a little bit of an echo, so we're just making sure that that's all set up. How are you?
Can you tell us more about her research?
I don't know what's going on.
Always exciting here.
Every time there's something that's exciting. All right. Well, shall we move to the next episode, or should we just check with each other? How
I think
you,
we should
How
just-
are you?
I'm
MK?
fine. How are you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay. Good,
Exactly.
good.
Let's see. Let's maybe give her a couple seconds, and if not, we'll
Yeah. I wonder what's going on.
skedaddle on forward.
Yeah.
What's great about this show is when people come on, it reminds me of things that I need to do but haven't done, and seeing them is a fun little visual reminder of Mary Kate, respond to your emails.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, let's see if we could keep going.
sure.
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully we'll be able to get Katty back on in a little bit to talk about her lecture. Okay, so next up, over the past month of February, the Connections podcast put out 4 new episodes interviewing noted experts on topics such as Israel's clandestine campaigns of terror in the Middle East, the Tunisian president's consolidation of power since his suspension of parliament, and the challenges confronting the Libyan state and society due to persistent conflict, and the state of Afghanistan since the Taliban's ascension to power.
For those who don't know, Connections podcast combines journalism, analysis, and scholarship to offer timely and informative interviews on current events and broader policy questions, as well as themes relevant to knowledge production.
Fortunately, we have Jadalia, co-editor and Connections host and friend of LWA, Muin Rabbani, to fill us in on these latest 4 conversations.
And we are hoping that the echo problem doesn't persist. Otherwise, it means that we might have to ask people to call us on the phone to make this happen. So let's see the magic button. Marhaba Mu'in.
Hi Bassam, hi MK.
Muhammad, are we good? On
No echo. Incredible.
okay. So I think there was something in
No, there is an echo on Maureen.
yeah, but you can hear but there was a loop.
No echo.
No loop echo.
No, there was a loop with Katty.
Yeah, there's no loop.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was a
we're
loop with Katty, so I don't
Thank
know.
you.
Maybe it has to do with her settings. So hopefully she reboots and joins us. Mu'in, we are very excited. Can you fill us in on some of these passing conversations you've
Pressing.
been having?
Pressing.
And passing, because they passed. They're dead. They're done. They're finished.
good. Never happening again.
Never happened.
Well,
that
you
you've been
never know.
having on Connections. So we will let you have the floor.
Thanks. I started this year in late January with a discussion with Claudia Gazzini of International Crisis Group about Libya. And that focused mainly on her previously optimistic view of where Libya was heading and what had happened to remove that optimism and what explains the current stalemate and what seems to be a real deterioration in the situation in Libya. Then on the 9th of February, I spoke with Remy Brulin about Israel's sacred terrorism. And that discussion focused mainly on new revelations about an Israeli terror campaign primarily in Beirut during the late 70s and early 80s, kind of a precursor to the massive invasion of Lebanon in 1982, and also about why these crucially important revelations have received practically zero media attention, with Remy being one of the only people who has devoted serious time and analysis to helping us understand what actually happened and why it happened. The following episode was with the Tunisian journalist and analyst Mohammed Haddad, trying to set out the constituent elements of Tunisia's new autocracy with the increasing concentration of power in the hands of President Kais Saied. And most recently, last week, I spoke with the Afghan journalist Ali Latifi about Afghanistan 6 months after the NATO withdrawal. We also devoted some time to the latest executive order from the White House, freezing half of the Afghan central bank's assets and giving them to basically putting them at the disposal of the US courts at a time when Afghanistan is experiencing a severe humanitarian emergency. And then I should just add, tomorrow I'll be speaking with the award winning Saudi documentary filmmaker Safa Al Ahmad about Yemen's endless wars.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I know that we've had Safa featured on other events before, so I'm definitely looking forward to see what she has to say. And do you have any other episodes in the works that you can...
And before you talk about substance, what happened to the light that we got you, Ma'in?
Is it that dark?
It's very dark. I mean, are you like mourning what's happening in Ukraine?
Well, that too, but I didn't have time to set things up. But
okay, so I just want to make sure that it's okay, because it looks a little somber, and usually you're like, oh, طيب, go ahead. You had the substantive.
I was just going to ask if you have any other episodes in the works that you can fill us in on or give us a sneak peek into.
Yes, one that is confirmed and scheduled is with Professor Hadnar Watenpa in 2 weeks on basically the politics of cultural genocide, if I'm expressing that correctly, or cultural eradication. I think it'll be a very interesting discussion. I have a few others that are in the works. Unfortunately, none of them yet confirmed at this stage, so I'll leave it at that for now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's a lot of exciting content for us to look forward to. And of course, we will be having you back on the show to discuss these upcoming episodes.
With more lighting, I hope.
Yes, with more lighting. Incredible. That is, I know that will make Bassam quite happy.
Great. Now I can't hear you. If you're talking to me, I can't hear you guys.
Whoops.
And just to say, thanks to our new video editor and coordinator, Bennett Spear, we put the Connections podcast on Spotify. So you can actually now find it on Spotify, correct, Bennett? Under Connections. And we will be adding and uploading all episodes. We have dozens, because Mu'in has been active, that you can listen to and watch very soon. Actually, listen to on Spotify and watch on statushour.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, friend.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
Salam.
Bye.
Salam.
All right, now we're going to try and bring back Katty, and hopefully we have our connections issues resolved. Hi, Katty.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
let's wait.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, wonderful.
I'm not done.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
One second.
I'm
Okay,
so sorry.
so I hope this is the case, but it seems that there was something on your end, Kati, that was looping. So I'm glad you rebooted. Please let us know a little bit more about the event. We had a lot of people interested in it, attend and talk about it. And you just said that there were some people that were a little miffed, a little upset. So share with us your take.
So I was so glad to share with you my research on Game of Thrones fandom in the Arab world. It's I started this research as actually like fun activity in my life, like, and how you define fun. But I truly believe that popular culture um, get under our skin, and we internalize and understand a lot of things that happen in the real world through popular culture. And in this research in particular, I was very interested in understanding a new global phenomenon of a prestige TV that started with shows like The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, and Game of Thrones, and now it's very popular genre that more appeal to Western educated uh, audiences, and especially audiences who are from more high socioeconomic class. So I was very interested to see that such fandom of such type of TV is very popular in the Arab region, but also it's popular among people who belong or want to belong to this type of global class of people who enjoy and have fun and have intellectual experience with TV shows like Game of Thrones and the upcoming prequel House of Dragons. So in my talk, I didn't. I talked a little bit about also like some of the racial tension, because shows like Game of Thrones appeal and are written for Western audiences. They are white dominated. They have a lot of Orientalist tropes and white savior complex. And how I saw and observed that Arabic speaking audiences in the Arab region negotiate these racial differences is through the interaction and a hybrid post in their online community, where, for example, they insert local TV, like local Arab TV, beloved characters like Abla Kamel, Adil Imam, in imagined conversation with the people of Game of Thrones, like George R. Martin, the writer, or other beloved Western character. But as I also said uh, in my research, they are fans. Their identity is more constructed around entertainment, so they are not that much critical in terms of race, like people who are maybe in the academia and who do like research and gender studies and critical race theory.
Wonderful. Now, I have to ask, with this prequel coming out, do you intend to carry on with your research as it pertains to fandoms and Game of Thrones, or are you on to other projects?
So I have other projects. So that's actually one of them, because I think like in the Arabic speaking region, I really did not find that much scholarship on the type of organized fandom that I studied. There are more fandom was studied indirectly, but not as organized community who share a specific identity, and their fan and online activity is centered around this shared identity. So I have other research on gender and digital communication, on food communication, and more on Syrian TV drama. But for this research, yes, I intend to continue and to see what's happening in the Arab fandom world, especially that they continue their fandom, and always there are new members who discover the show and join these huge online communities.
Was muted.
Oh.
All right.
No.
So did you hear the clapping?
It's It's because we love you and your work and your research.
Not really. It's because I just added the button.
Speak for yourself.
Whatever.
Speak for yourself. Anyhow, thank you so much, Kati, for
Kati,
joining us.
we are happy that you joined us again. Somebody was saying, didn't we have Kati? I can't say Kati the way English American people say it. Kati. نحن بنقول Kati. We say Kati. Kati, people asked, wasn't she there last time? And I'm like, yeah, girl's busy.
Yes.
أهلا وسهلا.
It's on fire. We love it.
I'm so happy that I'm involved in Jadaliya and ASI through a lot of projects.
Habibti.
So wait for more soon.
We are too. And you're also part of the, an integral part of the Status podcast, working on the Arabic section with Osama, Isbir, and others, and of course Paula, who's running the show. So thank you so much for everything that you've done, Kati. As we say in Arabic, اللي بيعرف بيعرف والما بيعرف بيقول كيف حدث. Given, basically it's an expression to say those who know what Kati went through with her family. It was a difficult time coming from Syria to the States and then having to move to Canada, and then at all, with all of this happening, you landed a fantastic job and you maintained your work with everyone and your productivity. So kudos to you. I can't believe I said kudos right now, but very.
I'm rubbing off on you.
I know that's not good. I mean, that is good, but not that one, not this particular. I was gonna say rub, and then I realized it's not good. I'm gonna shut up now, please.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Kati.
And for anyone who writes horror movies today, I feel you.
I know we're gonna,
inspiring moments.
we're gonna use that in the promo for next time.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Salam, Kati.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Kind of cut it off too fast, huh?
It's شوي.
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay.
Salam.
It's okay.
Bennett, are you okay? You have a look on your face.
I'm good. I just sent you the.
You have a look like my undergraduate students when on the first day.
That's kind.
It's like a look that. Why am I here?
How did I get here? This month, our partners at Security in Context held a webinar on the goals and consequences of the US, Russian, and Chinese foreign policy. The discussion was part of a series aiming to explore the implications of multipolarity and the 21st century geopolitics in the global south.
The panel featured a dialogue about Russia's apparent.
At the time, it was apparent. Now it is. Very much so.
Yeah. Challenging. Oh, Muhammad, you made me look stupid. He's on delay, so he's going to hear it in a second. He's going to look at us. Let's wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There you go.
Did you film that? You know what I'm saying? All right. The panel featured a dialogue about Russia's challenging of the word order, as well as a debate about the various logics that shape IR theories about US-China relations. We have Omar Dahi from Security in Context with us today to address this. And here is Omar. أهلا وسهلا عمر.
Hello.
كيفك حبيبي?
مشتاق لك.
You look crisp with all kinds of maps behind you, upside down, Palestine. I hope you're doing okay.
Well, I'm doing well. We are in an era of geopolitics, so I need those maps to, look at the big picture.
To disorient yourself because you've got them like switched.
Yeah, exactly. That's an optical illusion. That's just, Remember those diagrams that we saw about the eye, that the image comes inverted
Exactly.
and then flips it? This is that.
But there's another fact that escapes a lot of people, and that is the map that we are all used to seeing is not an accurate map at all. It actually is a much more sort of expanded map. The real map, in many ways, is a little different. Mm-hmm. It's like Africa is much thinner and longer than what it is on the real map. So when I show this to some of my students, because others have heard about it, it was a shock. It was a shock to me. I just found out relatively recently in the last few years.
The countries are not to scale. Even so the map behind me is sort of flipping of the usual map that we're used to seeing, sort of Europe at the center of the world, so to speak. but it's also there's not drawn to scale. So behind me, Russia is not as big as it seems in the map. It's a lot smaller, things like that. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Russia, could you tell us a little bit about this panel that you hosted about U.S., Chinese, and Russian foreign relations?
Yes, that was a good segue. Yes, so that panel we hosted last week, I think it is part of a series that Security in Context is putting together, a major initiative on that we're titling basically Great Power Competition in the Global South. So it's looking at this emergence of great power competition, Russia, US, China, looking at their foreign policies, but also the fact that these increasing confrontations, whether there were non-armed confrontations, as we're seeing, obviously we're seeing it today, but other types of confrontations, security, economic, diplomatic, political, are playing out in third countries and often playing out in places like the Middle East, Sub-Saharan Africa, perhaps Latin America as well. And so this is going to be a series that examines this through research, papers, through panels, through public programming that looks at this from multiple angles. So we had a discussion with Jeffrey Sachs about a month or so ago. We had a panel on US-Russia relations, and we're having a panel coming up next week as well that I could talk about in a moment, if in case people are interested. But this panel brought together experts on US foreign policy, on Russian foreign policy, and on China. And it was actually planned a while ago. It was planned about 4 months ago. So it was not actually planned to coincide with the war or with at that time, Russia hadn't invaded. So it wasn't planned to coincide with the crisis, but the timing allowed us to sort of look more in depth on Russian foreign policy through two guests that we had. But we also had speakers who were looking at Chinese foreign policy and also common misunderstandings, for example, of the Belt and Road, the way it's depicted in popular wisdom or popular belief. What is China doing with the Belt and Road? What is the Belt and Road? So those were some of the discussions that were taking place. In terms of the Russian perspective, I think it was really interesting. There's a lot of discussion, obviously, right now about the disastrous results of the invasion, the destruction, the absolutely horrific toll on civilians happening right now in Ukraine. But the panel really was not meant just to focus on that, but look at the deeper issues, the context. And I think this is very useful for people trying to make sense of what's happening, which is the interplay between domestic policy and foreign policy. I think there's often an overemphasis or one or another in terms of understanding, how big powers behave. I think in an obvious case, it's the US. There are a lot of ways in which foreign policy reflects not just sort of a foreign dimension, but it's often driven by external, domestic foreign policy, domestic political changes that have a reflection on foreign policy. So that was some of the flavor of the panel.
Thank you very much, Omar. We are also very excited about how this whole project has already, put a dent in some of the discourse on security. Can you tell us before we let you go, and then please, MK, feel free to ask questions because your mind is much faster than ours. You're still in graduate school. You don't have tenure.
Does that make it faster or does it make it slower?
Makes it faster. I mean, right, Omar? Graduate students are much faster than us. They're like this.
Oh, yeah.
So if you could tell us a little bit about where the project in general is headed, Security in Context, because we are really excited about it. And every time I speak with somebody and every time I teach, right, I do mention the importance of adopting another perspective, not from the liberal point of view as in perspective A and perspective B, no, but another whole perspective that basically pulls the rug from under the traditional security approach. So can you tell us a little bit about where the project is headed, and feel free to add something about the project itself?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much. No, that's exactly why, or a big part of why we launched the project. Over the last 10 years, we're seeing these discussions of how do we rethink U.S. foreign policy, these discussions on so-called liberal internationalism and its decline. But overwhelmingly they reify the same old discussions about U.S. national security. It's very much a viewpoint, the dominant perspective at least, is one that promotes and re-promotes militarism and securitizations really as a solution to everything. So the project comes to respond to that and promote really critical perspectives, new thinking about security, but broadly defined, one that really takes a global South lens, a very critical perspective on what are the needs from developing societies, from the global South. Thank you for showing the website. I really urge everyone to go to our website, securityincontext.com. If you go to our YouTube channel, that's where you can see some of our latest videos as well. There's a link to it on the website that you can see some of the latest discussions. I was going to mention a discussion happening next week that I think would be really interesting to at the current moment, and particularly for the ASI audience. We're having a very, what I think is going to be a very important discussion that I'm moderating on energy security and geopolitics. It's happening March 9th at 1 p.m. and it's Robert Vitalis, Michael Clare, Emily Meyerding, and Emma Ashford, who are going to be speaking on issues such as, how do we understand the relationship between energy, security, and geopolitics in the 21st century? Is the same geopolitics that we saw in the 20th century about sort of pursuit of energy, energy resources, control, access, going to be the same in terms of decarbonization? What is the role of energy politics in the Ukraine war currently? What is
Say that again.
What's that? What is the role going to be moving forward? So it's March 1 p.m. Eastern next week. So I really urge everyone to tune into that. And if people are interested in learning more, please, again, visit our website, be in touch with me, reach out, and we'd love to have new people involved as well.
Omar, we have the website with us for a second. If you can tell us a little bit, what are the different sort of headings on the website that people can take a look at?
So basically, the main aspect of the project is really knowledge production. It's driven by research, original research that is developed by a series of autonomous research tracks and working groups. So if you go to the research component and you put explore research teams, for example, if you just click on that button right there where it says explore research teams, you'll see a little bit more of the research tracks that are driving our research. And so we have these working groups headed by scholars who are experts on these topics: financialization, militarism, headed by Professor Farad Demir and Shayna Marshall; war and institutional change, I'm overseeing that along with Professor Pete Moore; legacies of the global war on terror, that involves Professor Lisa Hajjar and Samir Aboud; endemic infrastructures, about the built environment, data capture, technologies of surveillance. So really important topics that are shaping basically our life as we know it, shaping societies, shaping our daily life in many ways, on a micro level, but also on a macro level. And so the project is really taking that research and then sort of using it as a tool for public engagement, engaging with policy experts who are interested in these topics and who discuss them, but who are open to really engaging on alternative perspectives. And so really what we'd like to do is to, as you said, make a dent in the discussion, which is very difficult to do given that there's significant amount of investment, hundreds of millions and billions of dollars are invested on militarism and promoting militarism. But what we'd like to show very simply, as we said before, is how these endless investments in security actually produce insecurity for much of the rest of the world, and increasingly for people in the US and Europe as well. I think it's really important to study the history, to study the various dynamics, some of which emanate from the global north, some of which have their own dynamics that are independent of it, but that interplay is really difficult to capture. And this is some of what our project tries to do. So that's the main issue, is the research tracks, but that research is going to drive then pedagogical outputs that are going to be made available for instructors and teachers who want to introduce alternative perspectives on security. You want to teach about Afghanistan. We have this critical text on Afghanistan that is really useful to help you understand and to provide resources for those of instructors who want to incorporate, let's say, a week or two on how do we understand the U.S. withdrawal. And really the idea is that most of that output is going to come from the research that we produce, but also curating existing critical research approaches that we think are useful. And so those two components will really be then also used for the pedagogy and the public engagement.
Shukran, Omar. Thank you for that quick summary. And we would love to always have you again. Hopefully the world will continue to experience problems so that you guys can continue to work. No, I'm joking.
Well, hopefully we won't be annihilated anytime soon. But yes,
no,
happy to be on if not.
Khair. And we will have you back soon. I am confident that this project is going to take off consistently, and that we get this material into the hands of educators who are able or interested in offering an alternative perspective.
Thanks so much.
Salam, Habibi.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Sam.
Salam, bye.
All right, and that's actually all we have for you today. So,
Is it? Wait, what time is it?
It's 2:17.
So listen, I've been wanting to do this the whole time. There's this thing that says click to start. So I'm going to click it since we have extra time.
What if we haven't been live this whole time and then you're starting the broadcast?
Oh, shit. No. Here, let me see. What is that? Oh. Whoa. Whoa. What is that? How do I stop it? No. What happened? What the hell happened? Okay, khalas. No, don't start. Some. Whoa. Shuhaida.
Don't stop clicking it. Yeah, we're not gonna click that button again.
Sorry about this. This is. Oh, we didn't use this. Look, man. Okay, look. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do an interlude, and then we're going to basically close.
All right, and with that, we leave you now. So thank you so much for tuning in to this recap of a month of knowledge production at the Arab Studies Institute.
As always, you can find all of the content discussed today in the episode digest, which will be published on Jadaliya in the coming days.
Who wrote this? Have a magical March. Have a magical March, and
Hamad?
we will see you in April.
Muhammad, is that you? Magical March. I am so glad that you put MK, basically MK's name next to
Have
the
a magical
line.
March, and we will see you in April.
But alliteration elevates the form.
Oh, Muhammad says alliteration elevates the form. You know, Muhammad, we need to get you a mic because it's not fair that we poke fun and mess with you. And
he has
you
no
don't,
means
no
of
means.
responding.
So, by the way, do you want to come and say hi? Last time Bennett came. Do you want to come and say hi, Muhammad? Muhammad?
Wait for the delay.
Do you want to come and say hi?
Here he comes.
Here Muhammad comes. Okay, he's fixing his hair. Come over here in the middle.
As I am.
Just say hi to everybody. This is Muhammad.
Hello. Yeah.
Feel free to.
I can defend myself.
Defend yourself. Yeah.
All right. Alliteration makes the job fun and made you guys laugh.
No, you said something else. You said alliteration makes.
Oh, elevates the form.
Elevates
Sorry,
the
that was
form.
me being
Yeah,
a
that's
jerk.
more refined.
Alliteration elevates
Thank
the
you.
form.
Ya salam. All right. Well, ahead of us, we have a couple of things that are taking place, including the Political Economy Summer Institute, which starts on June 3rd. And we have our 6th edition of... Did I say 6th? My friend's teacher in Syria used to say, I have 3 things to share with you. And that's Dirar. He used to enjoy that. Anyway, so that's coming up in June. We also have a number of events that will be taking place, including a very interesting event on Iraq and
Tomorrow.
other events on Syria.
On Thursday,
Tomorrow.
the 3rd. Today's the 1st.
I think
Thursday.
tomorrow. It's Thursday. Of course, it's Thursday. Okay. Thank you all for being with us, and we will see you soon. And we will actually play the new credits. They're going to be a little faster than we intend, but
So get ready to read fast.
yeah, get ready to read fast. Credits, copy. Well, we'll see which one is going to come
It's the
up.
one that has the date in it. It's right here.
3? Credits 3? Where is it? I don't have it. This one?
No.
The first one? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Assalamu alaikum.